Viva Chile, viva Chile, a Chile quiero,
I welcome you back again to Red Hot Chile. I know the production staff and so forth are included in that grand welcome, but since you're only hearing from me, I'll use the first person there. I wanted to give you a quick update on Freedom Orchard, and I think this is a good time to break some of the good news. You know, for months now, we've had an issue with getting capital, and in a sense we still do, but we finally were able to settle on some good terms with a few investors. One in particular who's really excited about our project and sees the value in what we're doing, and so we're expecting folks in the next 30 days or less to be able to have the capital we need to move forward. And I hope I'm not jumping the gun by saying it, but I'm so excited about the fact that we could finally get moving again after being paralyzed basically for a couple of months, or for several months actually, and actually moving forwards here. So anyway, Freedom Orchard, if our current investor schedule comes through as it should be, and I'll keep giving you updates weekly, or at least by the middle of February, I would think. Then Freedom Orchard will of course be closed to new investors entirely, and from this point on there will be no more pre-sales. There will be likely we'll end all our programs for promotional aspects, because we'll have the capital we need, and we will then go into the full retail stage, and it'll just be a matter of how fast that goes along. We probably will end up having some what we might call in Chile green pricing. In other words, Freedom Orchard is going to take a long time to develop, and the dams themselves that are going to hold the incredible amount of water we're going to use for agriculture are going to take just a year to plan, and then another year to build. And those things are going to have lakes, and which are going to have a small amount of boating or recreation on it, as well as some fishery and hydroelectric generation for the sustainable community, those kinds of things. So that's going to be a couple of years off. And so when I say buy in the green, I mean that we'll probably be willing to sell lots to people as soon as the subdivision is finished, and that people will be able to come in and get a better price. There'll be a green price. It'll still be a retail price, but it won't be as high a price as if you imagine all the grass is cut and every sidewalk's put in, and all this stuff is there ready to go, and you've got a fully planned operational neighborhood. The price is going to be higher, especially if there's a lake there and it's all done. As you can imagine, this is the way economics work, and so there'll be some opportunity for people to get in on a different scale in that sense, a different price scale. But it won't be the same as now. Right now, the people who've come in earliest are obviously going to be the great beneficiaries of having far more capital or appreciation, I guess you'd say, over the next couple of months, and really over the next year even. Or even if you want to look past the lakes, even the next couple of 3 years. Now, having said that, I have not closed off the pre-sales program starting today. It's because I want to make sure that things actually arrive. The capital gets here, everything gets set up correctly. I'm really sort of jumping the gun by sharing all of this because it looks like a very sure bet, but you never know. I mean, there could be some hiccup, something that happens at the last minute, and there ends up being disappointment. But it doesn't look that way. It looks very promising at the moment in general. And so, having said that, I think if you're still interested in the pre-sales or some kind of getting in on the very cheap end, please do give us a shout. You can write to me at chileadvisorygroup@gmail.com. Make sure to go and check out what freedomorchard.com says or vergellibertad.com says, and see the details there and get in touch with us, and we'll be happy to talk with you. In fact, I just had somebody writing yesterday about wanting to get a couple of farms at the pre-sale price. That's a good deal. Those farms are going to be worth a whole lot more as soon as Freedom Orchard is done, and that's a good investment in and of itself, even though you're not coming in as an investor, but as a buyer of a couple of our small farms. Still, it's an opportunity for sure. Well, anyway, that's part I'm going to give you on Freedom Orchard. Then, as far as that goes, we are going to be accumulating as soon as possible enough capital to move beyond our main project in Curacaví out to other parts of Chile. For instance, we have a project slated for the San Clemente area, which is just east of Simon Black's place down there. We also have another place in Santa Cruz, as you know, where we're going to be trying to develop some parcels for a much lower price, like $15,000 a piece or something, for people who want to get out of the land of the free and other so-called free parts of the first world, or parts of the so-called first world, and come down to Chile, but don't have the resources to live in Curacaví, which is more of an elegant development. And we are also making plans for our beach development towards the north. That's going to require far more capital, which I think we'll be able to achieve after we have the rest of the project going. But at any rate, those things are all now in our sights, as we have had plans to do them all along, but now we can actually be thinking about it and talking with the capital providers about moving forward with them. So more updates to come. Appreciate your support and interest in Freedom Orchard, and appreciate your support and interest in Chile. This is a great country to come to. It's not a perfect country. We have plenty of problems here, folks. I've never said that Chile is a perfect place, and those of you who have listened to the show or read my blog for a long time know that. However, it is a far better place than what you're having to deal with. And in spite of all Chile's problems, I live here hands down over a place like the United States or Spain, or you name the country in the Northern Hemisphere. This is a far better place to go. Other than perhaps island enclaves or other enclaves in Europe like Liechtenstein. Obviously there are places, Hong Kong, Singapore, where the very wealthy can go if they don't mind living in a place like that. But as far as having a larger country with a place that work opportunities, worship opportunities, places where you can go and drive a long ways and see beautiful sights, and there's more of a social environment in some sense than you'd get in some of those other places. This is a great place to live. It's a great place to come, and I hope to see you here. I hope many libertarians move here, and we can end up having a tremendous impact in Chile. As you know, folks, I already have been able to make a significant impact in the country's economic or public policy debate. At least I hope it's significant. I'm the most published academic in the country, and my articles that I write, whether they come out as columns or letters to the editor, which are widely read here, believe it or not, are very libertarian, as you could imagine. I'm a pro-life libertarian. I'm also an evangelical, a Baptist. Some of those things come out from time to time, although I don't emphasize abortion very much, maybe 1 or 2 times a year, and the same thing with, being an evangelical or a Baptist, a couple times a year, something might slip out about that. Most of the stuff I write about is pure economics or public policy or things pertaining to property rights, and that stuff gets published a lot. And it to the extent where they end up doing full 3-4 page large page stories on me now, and they call me in for television interviews. I appreciate all of that, not because, folks, I don't care less about being famous here in the country. What I care about is I'm passionate about is promoting liberty here and libertarian ideals here. And so, as far as I'm concerned, the more the merrier. If you guys can come here, if Simon Black is successful in bringing people here, his latest article about this 17-year-old Croatian immigrant in 1892 is fabulous. And Chile is exactly what he says there. If you haven't read his recent newsletter, and what Doug Casey says about Chile, those things are very valuable and very true. And let's make Chile the dream come true. Forget about New Hampshire. Forget about trying to save the land of the free. The land of the free is dead, folks. It's gone. The public school system killed it. The media killed it. And people's hearts of slavery that love to be enslaved and to go for the politics of envy have ruined that country. And there is no hope there. I'm sorry if you still believe there's hope there. There is no hope. I mean, if I'm 50 years old now, I'm going to be 51 before too long, and so I can remember back into the exciting years of the Reagan era and thinking things were going to go forward, and finally we're going to make a turnaround. Folks, it's gone downhill ever since, and it's never looked back. I mean, Clinton years look great now. At the time, they looked horrifying. Can you remember that? Well, I sure do, and you should. If you're at least my age or a little older, you should know that. So, at any rate, forget about the land of the free. Start investing in a Plan B home, at least down here, or a Plan B business, or a way that you can be out of there and into a freer, saner country. The television crew was actually in here from one of the major syndicates here in Chile, and they were watching me do a dry run of the radio show, Red Hot Chile. And they're so fascinated that I was promoting Chile as much as I am. I told them, I'd grant me honorary citizenship for all I do for this country. And they actually agreed. They were very impressed that an American would come down and be promoting Chile as much as I am. They're not a libertarian television station. There's a rank and file, probably semi-leftist television station. But we're very intrigued by what's going on. And there's been a lot written in the paper about what's going on here, and Libertarians coming here. And Chile likes Americans. They like Europeans. They're going to be receiving you folks with open arms. It's going to be a struggle for you to learn Spanish, but nevertheless, there's going to be an opportunity for you to grow here and do well in this country if you can stick it out. Being an immigrant's not easy. There's a lot of changes you have to get used to. There's a lot of cultural things you're going to detest about Chile, the bureaucracy, the lying, the cheating. These things are really annoying for us. But compared to what you face up there, and all of the maladies, the illness, the evils of the Northern Hemisphere that you'll be able to avoid, the political correctness, if nothing else, you're going to see that in the balance, it's still far better to be here than up there. All right, so there's a little pitch about Chile again, and as you know, I'm a great proponent. It's not the first time you've heard that. We're going to cut off the YouTube the recording for this at this point, rather than keep going for the entire show. I'm glad you've joined us today on Red Hot Chili. I hope you can make your trip to Chile too. Remember to visit freedomorchard.com, and if you have any questions or comments, send them to chileadvisorygroup@gmail.com or chile-consulting.cl. It's another website for consulting. Be back in just a minute.